50 years ago and a few months, I was 10 miles up this valley, climbing out of Afghanistan's Wakhi corridor. I'd been traveling with the Wakhi people, and we were climbing up the corridor, up the valley towards the Palmiers, following the snow melt and the greener pastures. The Wakhis told me about a valley, and they said that it was a beautiful valley. It had good grass, good pasture, excellent water, and a lot of barley fields. They made it sound like paradise. So, of course, I decided I had to go. So I got a Wakhi boy to go with me, and we were climbing out of the Wakhan when I was arrested by the local government officials. For hundreds of years, this part of the world has been a focal point of what's been called the Great Game, and it's been a political hotbed. So I was walking along the Oxus, and I could see Russian guard posts across the river, and I'd wave at them and just sort of nonchalantly go on my way with the Wakhi people. And the Wakhi people were great. They were very welcoming. They were a very strong community. They had great education system, great health care. They all tithe 10% of their incomes, and that goes to the development of the schools, buildings in the community, and the hospitals and health care. So they're really a sophisticated, well-educated branch of Islam in this part of the world. And I had a great time traveling with them. They welcomed me. I was way above the traditional purdah customs of Afghanistan, or actually all over this part of the world. The women were strong and bold. They would look you in the eye, shake your hand, and they weren't in veils. They wore headscarves. Actually, everybody wears headscarves, men and women, just to keep from eating the dust. So I was traveling with the Wakhi, great people, in which I took off, and I was going to cross over into this valley in Upper Hunza that sounded like Shangri-La when I was arrested by the local government officials. And well, to make a long story short, a few months later I was in a prison in Kabul. Interesting. When you're in a prison in Afghanistan, they don't feed you, they don't give you clothing, no water, no tea. They don't even give you a prison cell. They just throw you in the prison courtyard and you fend for yourself. Anyway, I was very lucky, and there was a guy in there who took mercy on me, a wealthy guy. He not only had a jail cell, he actually had an apartment with personal servants, so he was doing very well. And one day he told me, you're not going to see me again, and you're going to be released. And he told me nothing more, but the next day he was gone, and I was loaded into a military vehicle with some other prisoners, taken to Jalalabad, and the next day released at the Khyber Pass. And so I thought, well, here I am in Pakistan. That's where I wanted to go anyway. So I made my way up through the Kagan, up through Naran, Lulasar Lake, sleeping in caves, hanging out with nomads, but in pastoralists. But they weren't like the Wakhi people. They were not at all like the Ismailis. They wouldn't let me into their tents. They would give me tea and bread, and I would stay in caves or underneath rock overhangs, or sometimes even in hollow trees. And I made my way up to Hunza, well, almost to Hunza, to Nagar, where government officials once again said were very angry with me. This was a totally restricted area. I wasn't allowed to go. And so there I was again, turned away, and I went back down, and I made my way to India, which was where I was supposed to be going anyway. I had a job there, working with the Dalai Lama's government, teaching school and working with the Library of Tibetan Works and Archives. But I never forgot about the Wakhi people and the upper Hunza Valley that I wanted to visit. Now 50 years and a couple of months later, I find myself in a valley in upper Hunza that I wanted to go to. And the people are still as kind and generous, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful place.